Beach campers. Hope you're enjoying your time having a virtual camp. It's a shame we can't have the real one this time, but I hope you have lots of fun and enjoying all the activities that everyone has put on for you. So normally I do the cooking for you at camp, but I can't be doing that this year. But we wondered if you might like to join with me and do some baking. Who likes cookies? I bet a lot of you do. And so today we're going to make some cookies, some chocolate cookies. And so I've got a recipe for you that will be available to you, and it's a very simple recipe. And so if you'd like to have a go and show your mums and dads and brothers and sisters how clever you are, then all you've got to do is watch this. You'll have the recipe available to you, and then you can enjoy them at the end. And at the end, if you have a go, if you can take some photos of your cookies and post them online, then everyone will be able to see how clever you are, and that would be brilliant. And so, first of all, the first thing that we need to do is to wash our hands. Yes, again, wash our hands really well. If you've got an apron, I've got a frilly one. Doesn't have to be frilly, but you can wear an apron as well if you've got one. Now, we will be using the oven, and so it's advisable for you to get some help from an adult when you're using the oven, because we don't want anyone burning themselves. And so we need a nice clean surface to work on, and I've prepared all the ingredients ready to use. And if you can do that at home, that's a brilliant idea. It saves time messing about later on. And so for these cookies, we are going to use some plain flour, which we will sift into a bowl. You've got a little sieve like that, and we will do it into this bowl here, just like that.
So why do you sieve your flour?
We sieve it, so this is my glorious assistant Rebecca, if anyone doesn't know her. This is to get out any lumps. Sometimes you get some lumps forming while they're in the bag, and it gets out all the lumps. So we have the flour, and we now need some bicarbonate of soda. So you'll have the amounts printed out for you, but we need a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and so we'll put that into the flour through the sieve. And the amount of flour was 350 grams. We now need a pinch of salt. So this is my old trusty jar of salt, so we'll just put a little pinch of salt in there as well, and we'll give it a good mix together with the sieve. So that's all the dry ingredients that we need, and we'll put those to one side for the minute, and then we can focus on the other ingredients. So I've got a firm bowl here, which is quite heavy, and into there we are going to put our 225 grams of butter. Now it can either be butter or margarine, whatever you've got in the house. These times at the moment we can't always have the things that we want in our cupboards because of shopping constraints, but if you've got butter and can use it, or margarine, whichever. So we then add our 175 grams of caster sugar. So we'll put that in there as well. And 175 grams of soft brown sugar. Now you can get a light brown sugar or a dark brown sugar, and whichever. If it's darker, the biscuits will just come out a bit darker, but it doesn't really matter. So we'll put the sugar in there, and then we are going to give it a good old stir. So this is going to take a minute or two because we want to get it nice and creamy. And if you've got a mixer at home that Mummy or Daddy will let you use, you could use that. But it's going to take a little bit of mixing If your butter or margarine has a chance to soften a little bit, that is all good, because that will help in the mixing process. But we want to get it all nice and creamy, and we're just putting it all together like that, and eventually it will turn a nice lighter colour as the sugar is absorbed into the margarine. So it's changing already, so we keep going at that.
You were turning yet?
Not yet, might be soon, but it's gradually turning colour and gradually getting a bit lighter, which is what we want. Now into that mix we will add, this is vanilla extract, so we just need a teaspoon of vanilla extract into there as well. There we go. So we'll just keep beating. And it's already getting softer and more creamy. I don't know if you can see that at all. And that's doing really well. So, we've got that mixture ready. So, we now need to have some chocolate at the ready. Now, it all depends what chocolate you've got in your cupboard, or if you're available to buy some from the supermarket, you can use chocolate chips. You can use a bar of chocolate and chop it up like I have done. You can use whatever chocolate you like. This is dark chocolate, but you could use milk chocolate. And Rebecca suggested having Smarties or anything like that that you like to add a bit of colour. So we just chop it all up and all ready to put in the mix. So there again, if you're using a sharp knife, just make sure you've got an adult helping you, because we don't want any fingers being cut or hurt. So we need to be very careful. So there we've got our chocolate at the ready. So we'll just put that to the side a minute and we'll go back to our margarine and sugar mixture. So we need 2 eggs in the recipe. So I'm going to break this into a bowl and I'm going to mix it up with a fork just to break it all up. And then we're gradually going to add the egg to the margarine and sugar mixture. And as we do it, we're going to do it bit by bit and add a little bit of flour so we don't get it curdling. So we'll put a little bit of egg in.
You said you need 2 eggs, but there's only 1 there.
There is. You're very observant, Rebecca. That is because I made the mixture yesterday just to try it, and it makes a lot of biscuits, a lot of cookies. And so this time I thought we would just do half of the recipe, just so that we don't eat too many cookies and our waistlines don't get too big. So I'm actually doing half the recipe today, and it's up to you whether you want to do the full amount, or if you want to cut down a bit you can do half. So a bit more flour. Last bit of egg. There we go. And the last bit of flour. And then stir it all up. And then when it's starting to come together, like that, you can add the chocolate, one of the best bits.
That's a lot of chocolate.
It is a lot of chocolate. But who doesn't like chocolate? So we'll just mix it all together. Get all the chocolate mixed in. And that's it.
I need some clear milk.
Thank you, I love that. And that's how simple it is. So what we need next is something to bake them on. So we need a tray, something like that will do fine. Now I've got some fancy baking sheets, but if you've got them at home, that's fine. If you haven't, you can use baking parchment or special greaseproof paper. But if you've got baking parchment or something like that, so the biscuits don't stick onto the baking tray, that would be good. So let's put this over here. So then we want spoonfuls of the mixture, about a tablespoon. I've got no, this is a tablespoon, a dessert spoon, about that much, onto the tray, and they actually spread out quite a lot as they cook, so you need to keep them quite separate. Give them quite a bit of space in between. So if you just spoon the mixture out onto your baking sheet or whatever you've got, and that's it. And then when we've got a tray full, the oven will have warmed up by now, and we can put them in the oven at 190 degrees centigrade. So I've nearly got the tray full.
How many cookies will it make?
Well, it depends how big they are for one thing, but that size, I think yesterday when I did the full mixture and the cookies were quite large that I made yesterday.
You keep going.
They were
24.
24 for the full mixture, and they were quite large cookies, so they were that sort of size. Now as you see, it's got a straight edge there because I had them running into each other because I hadn't left enough space in between. But if you do them a tad smaller, then hopefully that won't happen. So we've got them on the baking tray, and so then we put them in the oven, and it takes about 11-12 minutes. You need to keep a close eye on them, and they will spread out and they will start to go brown around the edges, but then they will still be paler in the middle, and when they are brown around the edges you need to have help in taking that oven because it'll be very hot. So we'll put them in the oven. There we go. If you've got a timer, you can set a timer so you don't forget. So let's set that timer. There we go.
So we'll see you in 11 minutes.
So we'll see you in a few minutes, yes. And you can see what they look like when they come out the oven. Okay, thank you. See you in a minute.
Let's check the oven.
Check the oven. See what they look like. And I think those are about ready. So we'll take them out the oven. Move that one up. There we go. So the important thing is just to leave them once you've got them out of the oven. They need to be left to cool because they are very, very soft still. And as they cool down, they will harden up a little bit more. And then when we're ready, we can take them off there and put them onto a cooling rack to cool, and then you can enjoy. So we'll just wait for those to cool a minute, and we'll just let the others cook in the oven.
How long is it before you can eat them?
Well, that depends how strong your mouth is. But the best left to cool for a few minutes first, and they are nice warm. But
chocolate gets very hot, doesn't it?
Yeah, chocolate gets very hot, so we don't want any burnt mouths, don't we? Do we? So that's about it, really. So I hope you have fun having a go at this, and have fun eating them and sharing them. Don't eat too many at once though, else you might have tummy ache. And enjoy! So I hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend doing all the different activities, joining them all, and have a great time, and hopefully we'll see you at camp again very soon.